Hey, so I had to come on here real quick. You can see I'm in my house clothes and everything, but I couldn't be too concerned about how I'm looking because God gave me a word and it really, really encouraged me so much that I felt compelled, I felt obligated to come on here and share this quick word that God gave me in hopes that it would help somebody else. I feel like there are so many of us, I'll speak for myself, that are in a place in life right now or on a particular journey where we just want to give up. If I'm being honest, sometimes I just want to say to God, like, get somebody else to do it. I'm tired. I don't want to do it no more. But then he brings me back to my senses. Thank God. And I was driving in my car this morning. I had to go run some errands. And I was just crying out to God because I will share my testimony at some point, but I am human. I love Jesus, but that does not guarantee me a life void of trials. I go through some things, and there are times when I actually question God or doubt myself, doubt that I heard him correctly, I should say. I'm like, man, did you really tell me to do that? Did you really bring me to this point? Because this ain't looking too good. There are times where, faith, we walk by faith and not by sight. If you could see it, then your faith wouldn't be necessary. But there are times when our circumstances just scream at us. They're so loud and it doesn't look too promising. And I am in that situation right now, and I still am hopeful, and I believe God is going to do exactly what he said he's going to do because he is not a man that he should lie. But what I really want to share with you is in the book of Exodus chapter 13. He took me back. What he said to me in the car when I was riding this morning was, don't get confused on what is Egypt. When God led his people out of Egypt through the hands of Moses, he chose Moses to take his people out of the land of Egypt to deliver them from Pharaoh. His people were slaves in Egypt. And when he was leading them out of Egypt, in Exodus chapter 13, starting at verse 17, it talks about how God actually led them through the wilderness. There was a more direct route, but he purposely, intentionally, God chose not to lead them out that way because it says, written right here, I'm going to read the whole verse to you. It says, then it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest perhaps the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. So basically what God was saying was, I'm not going to lead them that way because I know them better than they know themselves. And if I take them this way, they're going to change their minds and go back to bondage. They're going to say, I give up. This is too scary. I'm not liking it. I'm going back to where I was comfortable and where I had provision, where I had food. I don't want to go this way. So God intentionally led them a different route that was not the more direct way. And when God spoke to me this morning, don't get confused on what's Egypt, because the path that he may take you on, when God calls you out of something or takes you on a new journey, it may be some bumps in the road. And it may begin to look like, man, where I was before seemed better than what I'm facing right now. And I felt like God was telling me, don't get it twisted. You are on your way to your promised land flowing with milk and honey. Do not go back to the bondage that I delivered you from just because it's difficult right now, just because it doesn't look like what you expected it to look like. Stand and see the salvation of the Lord. That's in Exodus 2. Trust that God got you. He's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. So don't you dare give up and go back to Egypt and go back to bondage when I delivered you from that. Stay the course. Be encouraged. Do not return to Egypt, and don't get confused on what is actually Egypt. Just because it looks hard right now, you're not in Egypt anymore. You're on your way to your promised land. He's bringing you through. Don't give up. Keep going. And sometimes if you feel like you're right back at the place that God delivered you from, you feel like he delivered you from bondage just to bring you right back into it, it's because you're right on the verge of the parting of the Red Sea. Do not give up. Keep pushing. Your Red Sea is about to part.